Hello, free enterprise fans, and welcome to the round of 32. One of our first games, our first week. We have actually game two of pk4787 versus RNCastro86, and I am joined in the booth by the ever wonderful, the ever fabulous Bad Karma. PK, how you doing, my guy?
I'm doing all right. I'm looking forward to this match. This is really hype. If you did not catch game one between these two, I believe it was like a minute apart finish. So looking for a real barn burner between the two of these guys.
Oh, absolutely. Two fantastic runners. We have our 46th seed and our 11th seed. As far as I remember, the other seed we won't spoil too much about, but we did have the ever mystical, ever magical Fu start, and we have the other side of the coin, from one of the easiest agilities to manipulate to the hardest agility, in my personal opinion, to manipulate, and that is in Edge. He is very fast. You love him for the overworld, but when you go underground or on your way underground or on the moon, he's he is not fun to try and mess around with, and every boss is going to be as fast as him.
Also, it makes our jobs up here easier in the booth, so we can just dart puns left and right.
You know what? We're gonna let that one go. We're not gonna let it crash in some flame.
You sure you just don't want to flood the booth with these?
If you just keep putting them out there like that, it's very too much of a blitz, my dude.
I think it will just ruin our image if we keep going like this.
You know what? We got to smoke these out, and let's start talking about a little bit extra. So, speaking of extra, the ones behind the scenes, making sure that we're going to be kept in track is Neobari, who can mute us at any one given time here, running the restream, and we have the ever wonderful Heart Gamer doing our tracking. Huge shout outs to them, because without them, there is no show aside from the two runners we have here. But we have PK bouncing back and forth on these numbers, looking like he's very excited to get through this, and I kind of don't blame him. It's been even the first few weeks has been just crazy here in Zemus Zone.
Yeah, and all these matches have been great. We've had a wide range of craziness that's been going on. A lot of different ways we've seen these seats tackled, and it'll be really interesting to see how our runners handle this agility problem that Edge can become, because he is so fast, and there's not a lot of ways to either bring him down or bring him up to certain breakpoints.
Indeed, and so speaking of things going down, we do have the magma key needing to be tossed into the Agart well. That's a really interesting thing if we have to go through a hook route, and that magma key is buried somewhere on the moon. That means that, a non-hook route is what you want to see, but what you also like to see is you like to see this Eddie start. You like to see a legend sword. That's nice for part of the forge that we need.
Yeah, and Edward is not always the character you want to see paired with your hero right out of the gate. He needs a dancing dagger really to contribute. So I'm looking forward to seeing Edge just solo the overworld here.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing is if you find any piece of gear for him, like a couple of middle swords, maybe even a long or the coveted ninja somewhere, he kind of can do just that. None of these bosses are going to be much of a problem. He's comes with the second highest HP, actually the highest HP starting of any character who's not named Fu, the highest level. And you're kind of just looking for, as our runners are doing, they're looting in, actually a different bit. We have an immediate raising of the hovercraft, or no, checking the waterfall, and we have a character check. This is really, really interesting. Very much a divergence even from what we normally see in these races.
Yeah, and that just shows the power of Edge. Edge can clear a number of these checks without any loot, so you don't have to go out of your way to, looking for items to get Edge rolling. And that's what PK is banking on. Is we're seeing Tella on the top of Hobbs with Baron guards. Edge should be able to take care of this pretty easily.
Would you like to scramble eggs, or would you like to go find yourself some sirens? Pick your grind. Much like you pick your poison, these guards going to be very simple. Nothing really to deal with here.
Yeah, and PK playing a little safe, doesn't want to go and get piggied or anything like that. So small is the counter there. So just trying to make sure to get these guards kind of stopped before handling them.
Yeah, and Tella doing what Tella does best. When you have low intelligence, he gets himself a miss of the stop. If the second one lands, I'll be, oh, there it goes, does hit there. But we do have an Eddie on the ground. And PK is just going to knock out the stop guard.
Yeah, and chat pointing out from our tracker Heart Gamer, we have color coordinated our starting characters.
I mean, if you're red, the enemies are all dead, so that's bathing in the blood of the enemies, I guess. Also, the really nice thing about that Tela, this enables a deep ninja sword right there. That's a fantastic pickup. This allows some deep looting in places, and I do love me a back of Hobbs check. The loot here is about mid-ish to high tier. You find a cane, he's going to love that Dwarf Axe. Ninja Sword, Dwarf Axe, Diamond, pretty much everything beneficial out of that. It's actually really solid loot to start off with.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't hate the ninja sword. That is a great weapon for Edge to just help clear this out even more. If PK is going to continue to fade some of the early looting checks, he's going to be rewarded just by getting this head start against Castro, who did stop at Dampian. But I'm not sure if is PK racing. Are we sure?
Wait, hold on. Who is this man, and who's taken over Ultimate Godslayer's position? I know that we do love our memes, and usually PK leads into them, but he's fading his meme, much like he is not fading this Antlion check. He's actually checking it right now, which is counterintuitive to what some players kind of like doing their own things, but this also kind of works in his advantage, because if he's known for this, and he's doing the check and getting a free fight such as these Dark Imps that can be easily flamed away, then, I mean, maybe his opponent Castro will be like, oh yeah, I can just go check this, PK won't check this forever, and I mean, kind of they're in the same boat now.
Especially if it pays off here, as we're getting ready to see this glimpse of this item. If this is, Magma, Luca, not
that is required. That is a required objective right there.
You are right. I totally, spaced on that. Yeah, so that is a huge pickup, and Castro's going to be getting it right behind him.
And PK actually slightly fading Antlion. He's leaning into the memes because he is fading the loot that is in Antlion, as is Castro right now. The thing is, the loot here is of the higher tier because this is called a out of the way or a lonely location that is just guarding a key item. So you kind of don't loot here a whole lot, but if you do, it is of the higher quality stuff. And PK actually running down and kind of going in a vanilla fashion, it looks like, if he goes and checks the boss here. Finding mute daggers though, those are really decent for Edge.
Yeah, unfortunately, due to that lesser amount of loot, doesn't have any money for him yet, so it's just gonna have to make a mental note that that's what they're there. Meanwhile, on Castro's side, he decided to get the hit off for the ninja sword before flaming, so that's gonna slow him down a little bit more. So hopefully he'll be able to make that time up.
Absolutely. A lot of the loot here is really going to be what it kicks. We have some free fights in easy early locations. Oh, Neobari, have you given us a fun seed for later? That is going to be the very true question. King, Queen, Evelyn, you love to see a free overworld that's giving you kind of like not quite zonks, but nothing really for current progression.
You know who doesn't love to see King, Queen, Evelyn right here?
Our runners?
Our starting Edge.
Oh, that's my guy. Come on.
He doesn't want to have to to do any harm to his parents.
I mean, hard respect, and I understand that 100%, but yikes. But no, he gets to that fight. This check here is going to be big. Castro doing some divergence. We have a Dark Knight Cecil in a not punchy spot guarding a Quack Kid. We have some mages to follow up with his Edge right here, and probably really easy fight, taking no damage from that, and one swing and he's gone. Oh, but there's the moon.
Wow.
Having some goods.
Oh, and this Octomammoth, we have not found a Thunderclaw yet, and this is a punchy spot, so might want to get in the back row because this Edge is not, Yeah,
but with this blink from Tela, that's going to be another couple of hits that he can handle, so not that bad. And as we see, Edge is rocking between 800 to 900 damage, and this is a very, very slow spot. One more shot should basically be all that she wrote, 1 to 2. But yeah, we have a whole truck of objectives kind of just being tossed our way. We have Cave Bahamut access, we have Sealed Cave eventually once we get underground. And yeah, we now have a Quack Kid that can go with our Edge, and the reward is a pan. You go underground, you're given a whole bunch of objectives. I mean, you mentioned the tower key, and you basically have free run of that underground.
Absolutely. You'd love to see the pan here on the overworld, and that could also steer Castro away from Fabul. trying to get that underground access. If this is a hook route, that's going to not benefit Castro all that much because PK is going to be a character up if we have to go down that hook route.
This is true, but it also does depend on who is on the moon. We could see one of our many dupe characters because this is we have no dupes on. So if we see a Tella, we see a Palom, or if we see a Eddie, or if we even see another Edge, kind of a wasted character slot. Like PK, yeah, he'll be happy to see that Quack Kid, but he won't know that in Baron Inn there was a more free one sitting waiting for him.
Yeah, and what this tells us here in the booth, Castro is heading right to the path to the underground, unless there's a Demus hanging out somewhere.
This is true. We do get a Thunderclaw. One boss too late, but we do still have Odin out there, so that could be very fun. And the ever lovely and wonderful Cagnazzo that could be hiding in some rude spots. Bro, excuse me. I had something caught in my throat.
I can't imagine anybody who would want to suffer through a Cagnazzo in the Rubicante spot.
No, I can't think of not one person that could do it. However, the two of us in the booth. Yeah, big shout outs to you for doing handling a route like that. PK is continuing a shopping percentage while Castro taking the save. I'm gonna find out we have a very free and very easy Ordeals 1 here in this Bahamut. Again, any fight pretty much anywhere is really free on the overworld because that is just so fast in these locations.
Yeah, and it's interesting too that PK is fading those moon checks for right now. Is gonna head right up behind Castro here on Ordeals. So if PK loots, is gonna have this Thunderclaw. Oh, he passed it! No, PK.
You in fact hate to see it happen. But yeah, Eddie and that dancing dagger and Edge tossing out that ninja sword, these bosses aren't really up for the world. I hope he loots on the way back, or he loots somewhere else and finds himself one, because Thunderclaws can still be found pretty much anywhere. The real question is going to be who is this second boss? Not really, again, not much, if anything, kind of blocks out these runners, especially not a Rubicante whatsoever.
No, not at all. And granted, we haven't found an Ice Claw yet, but again, this Edge is already good to go, pretty much.
Oh yeah, he's got more than enough. Even throwing out one of the shurikens, really lesser seen things. You generally see shurikens and you think, oh, that's going to be money for me, and you kind of just leave it alone. But with what we have here, and we do have this ice too, so this Palom can do some good damage. Unless you get eaten by a fire and then glared your hero. By the way, the back attack spot, pretty decent magic if you didn't know.
Oh yes, and that was exact damage on that Palom as well.
Yeah, Rubicante was like, you want to cast ice one? No. You have to get up first. And the really nice thing is when we get back here and gets back to the Palom turn, he should be opening the cloak shortly after. And a bluff, yeah, the ice 2 that does hit is probably going to almost one-shot him.
Even an ice 1 here, I think, because Edge is already knocked out about 2,000 damage, I think.
Easy 1,000 from the shuriken. I don't know if he knocked down another bit from another hit. I know Eddie threw a dancing dagger, but yeah, this ice 2, it's all done but the Porum. I mean, all done but the Cryon. And Leg's going to be disappearing, and Castro getting some menuing done.
Yeah, getting some inventory cleanup. That is one thing that I struggle with is cleaning my inventory, especially during these crumbles. So really heads up play by Castro, recognizing that he can move some things around. PK right behind him though, finishing that fight.
Absolutely, and again, a character down in the fact that he doesn't have this Palom. So not having Palom getting through the fight really quickly, I didn't even see how he got through that quickly. That's how fast that fight was born on Castro's menuing. But again, we have ourselves inside Ordeals. Hero has to fight alone, and if you're gonna have any hero go on his own, any of two of our starting characters is perfect. Eddie with a dancing dagger, or Edge with just whole day and win, really.
Yeah, so one other difference too, I don't know if you caught it, PK found a boomerang in Fabul. Castro I don't think has found one, so his Edge has to hang out. Oh, just a Drain Spear.
You say just a Drain Spear. One, that is a fantastic dart. And two, remember those mute daggers I was talking about?
Right. Short sword coming up short. Mute knife on the other hand, making really short work of that Asura.
Yeah, the really nice thing, Asura, a mage enemy, gets hit, and again, Castro just right behind. Very fantastic. And as pointed out by our restreamer, where's our underground access? Well, you know what that means.
I know
We're
what that
hunting.
means.
Today, we hunt.
Yeah, and that's going to drive Castro probably right to Fabul to get that Darkness Crystal. He's not going to check, the other spots. We've already seen the waterfall, so it's the Vanilla Demus spot, or it's the Tower Zot.
Answer question in chat. Actually, from our tracker, it can be on Moon or underground access can be there. However, for what we have on, we do not have K unsafe on, meaning that we have to have logical progression of overworld to underground to Moon, meaning that somewhere on the blue planet will be access to the underground, and it cannot be guarded by either. I think it's Golbez, Wyvern, or Valvalis are the three who
Correct.
can't block it. Yeah. So if you see one of those three bosses, you know that there's even another spot blocking it. So you can just run away from a bad spot and hopefully get your other access. You get a hook, you go back and fight that boss.
Yep, and so now we've got our runners, redoing each other's steps here. We've got PK doing this Baron infight, and then we've got Castro, who's going to go defend Fabul against the dreaded King and Queen of Evelyn.
The hardest of all fights, while we have a Dark Knight getting up and then getting knocked down real quick. Again, not going to have the Thunderclaw for this upcoming Octomom fight, but a couple of hits is still going to make all the damage here.
Does have Lit 3 on Tela.
This is very true, although I think you just cast Virus. I don't know. That's just me. I'd probably go for the faster the faster cast of Virus. Lit 3 would probably take way too long. The fight would be over by then because Tela is a slow unit.
So, where are we thinking? Miss Cave or Zot?
So, you know me, BK.
Oh, I know.
I love me some rude, like, go find it on Zot kind of shenanigans, but I have to see it in the vanilla location. I need to see my vanilla demon.
That's why I
need to have one of my
ask.
scoopings.
I'm going to go with the meme answer. I want D-Mist in Zot that has the Earth Crystal leading back to Zot.
Ooh. No, you know what? I want a nice chain to get underground. I don't want D-Mist into Earth Crystal into that. I want D-Mist into, let's say, Baron Key into Harp into Earth Crystal. Like, let's make the runners run around for this access. You want to get underground, we'll be there in about 10-20 minutes because you're going to earn your way. PK getting through that fight. Castro going to get his Darkness Crystal. Both of them are kind of getting the news of that and our restreamer was saying is, where's underground? Oh no, where do we go and check?
Looks like we're going to get the first check on the Miss Cave here first from PK.
Oh, he's going to check Miss Village first. Not a bad call. Definitely something to look for. You're still looking for maybe some arrows. You're still looking for lit arrows are really nice to find. You're still maybe looking for a curse ring, maybe some bandanas. Nothing really good in the Miss shop right now. PK is definitely fading a lot of his looting, which is very interesting. Normally you see Watery Pass, you see Evelyn Castle looted at this point, but we haven't really seen them loot very heavily. Yeah, Edged allows a lot of... here it is.
Oh.
The memes are real.
Yeah, PK not resetting. Wanted to get Palom a level, trying to get him to his level 2 spells. So does take the fight, whereas Castro resets. So we are going to have a neck and neck race right up Zot.
Absolutely. And Castro is deciding he's not going. Yeah, PK has not checked Waterfall, so he thinks, oh, Waterfall's way more likely than this. But no, so PK, you're running up Zot anyways, because this is where your access is. There's no two ways about it.
Exactly.
Do you check that trap chest, or do you go for the trap chest at least?
I think I take the two that are easy. I don't think I take the Trident. And the reason being, Flame Dog has the value.
Absolutely. We could find ourselves a Mirasame. We could find ourselves maybe even a Crystal Sword for a Cecil incoming. But we are getting the memes. We are getting everyone's favorite. Where's your underground access? It's here. Zot 1, D-Mist. I am so here for this right now. I don't think I've commentated on a race that's had a D-Mist holding underground access here It's been a long time if I have.
Yeah, I have not. I've seen it. I've seen it in the wild. I've seen it in people practicing. I have not come to a race with it here. So this is really exciting to see how our runners are going to handle this. There is no quick, easy way out of Za. It does give you some information. You can see who that dwarf castle fight is. You can see who one of the characters is. So it does give a lot of information. But unfortunately, it's going to be a required double dip if you want to turn in that Earth Crystal.
Yeah, and that's where we start getting to the really bad parts. Is like if it is a required return, it never feels good walking up here, taking a long fight. This is not a gentle fight. You need to then come back and then go and do check this demist. But the really thing is, are you coming back here immediately? What if if Earth Crystal isn't here? What if Earth Crystal's coming back? But yeah, as we see on Seed, this is where this demist is. This is where the fight is happening, and we couldn't have hoped for anything better. Neobari, you're starting off the round of 32 very strong with one of our other seeds.
Yeah, and PK is doing the 2 easy chests. We'll see if he decides to look for the Flame Dog any further. Only getting a Flame Whip and a Black Sword, 2 weapons that we can't use.
Absolutely, and we have already done our ordeals check, so that Black Sword is actually a dead item, because we will not find ourselves a Dark Knight Cecil. We will only find ourselves a Paladin. And yeah, we're about to take a look. Is PK checking more? Nope, he says, I'm checking those 2 free chests, and that's about it. I don't care about no Flame Dog. He's going to take his save, and going to be in this fight. The really nice thing, though, is Eddie with his Dancing Dagger, pumping out a third of the damage of what Edge is doing, but is doing it for free.
Right, and that's going to be the thing is, the Palom for Castro is higher than PK's because that Palom went up to Ordeals, got those 3 boss fights. So it's really going to be a little bit slower fight for PK, I feel like, just depending on how he wants to use Tele. Castro playing it safe with Blinks, though, whereas PK, YOLO.
So as we also see here, the thing that made the Magus Sisters more scary is the fact that they have a decent magic stat, but their attack stat is really nothing to scoff at, nothing to talk about. So you're not really looking at anything in that aspect of combat, but you are, as chat's pointing out, looking at 9,000 HP of Demist. And with Edge swinging for barely, not even 1,000, Edge and Eddie together are doing 1,000 damage. So they will eventually get it in 9 rounds, and with whatever Palm's pumping out here, a good 900 damage too after the bluff. Yeah, you see, it took Castro a little bit. We got through here. We got our 9,000 experience, but the bluffs are what really make the difference.
Absolutely, and I would be really curious if we see the Berserk on PK's side. I know that is something that he does like to do and try to force this, as we're seeing Castro warp out. So it'll be interesting to see if he wants to try and go for it here to get the Berserk going and try and finish it off here in the second round.
Throwing that Lilith Rod on Tella, I don't. Oh, yep, you in fact call it right. See, and this is why you looking after runners and knowing a little bit more about how they like to run is very nice to have in the booth with me. I like to meme it up a little bit here, and and it's a good time. But you're really the man with the knowledge. As a runner who wasn't in the Zemus Zone, put up a fantastic showing. Having you and your knowledge base is very nice compliment up here.
Don't count yourself out too much there, Dathis. I've heard you talk, you know your stuff as well. So it is great to be working up in the booth. But also, while we are finishing this Demist off, before Castro can get there, I do want to thank Heart Gamer and Neobari as well. We definitely are going to be a whole lot lost without them. So really glad to have them helping us out as well.
Indeed. Also, really interesting thing. I don't think saving on the right-hand side. I know this is muscle memory, but you don't really need to save on the right side because has to be nothing but underground access or another keychain. It cannot be package because wow, Venus with the really hard required goods.
Yep. So that is Magma Key. That is objective number 4. No hook route for our runners tonight. The underground is going to be a whirlwind of checks here, as we've got the pan already in hand. We've already got the Fey March freebie. Dwarf Castle is probably pretty doable for our runners as well.
Absolutely. And see, this is okay. So BK, you just got yourself your Magma Key. You have all these key items and your underground right now. where do you personally go? What is your routing? Because the underground, aside from a full clear of Zot, sorry, of Babel, is your oyster. Where do you go? Where do you foresee Castro going?
I like the Fade March freebie here. Also, we've seen our runners just fading a whole lot of loot. That walk down is going to be a really good loot spot as well. If you feel like, hey, I could use a little oomph to take on this underground a little bit more. I like that choice for our runners. But also, the pan is also there. That's two other checks that could be two more key items.
And the nice thing is, with case summon turned off, that means that's going to be some high tier loot that the summons are going to be holding on to. Maybe we find ourselves a Moss Immune for this edge. Maybe we find ourselves an Avenger for Sir Cecil not appearing in the seed yet. There's a whole bunch of different options in that aspect too. It's a lot of really nice things that can come the runner's way. And yeah, with the loot that is in Feymarch, as you were saying, the Land of Summons, so very nice. And we know that some people also like to get a little cheeky, save right outside of Sylph Cave, and check the first couple of chests on their way in. I'm not sure if Castro or PK do it, but I've seen some runners do it. It has come to some medium to good effect. And it's also, again, very cheeky because that is a very highly trapped location.
Yeah, I believe there's 7 traps there, and we are seeing Castro do some of this loot. Also, Alchemy in our chat is pointing out a very interesting thing here. We are a Wyvern or Adamant away from Go Moon.
This is very true. Now, the really entertaining thing would be a Wyvern blocking Adamant somewhere. That would be really entertaining, in my opinion. I would love to see a 5-for-5 seed. That's kind of the dream. Probably not going to happen, although with this edge here, that's some curse rings for sale, though. That's going to be good to deal with agility, but I think at this point, you kind of look at your edge and you go, you're just going to go fast unless you're PK, and then, sorry, buddy, you're not going that fast.
PK is thinking of that Wyvern. If Wyvern is at a number of spots, you need that curse ring with this edge anchor. So that is what PK is thinking about. I don't know if Castro picked it up. I know he did some shopping in Aggr, but I looked away at a second because you were asking me about where I would go. But absolutely, you want that curse ring.
I believe the only shopping he did was in the actual...
Oh!
We are officially in go mode. That is a free Adamant right there in the chest. Okay, so who's ready to go scramble some eggs for a few minutes here? Because we are gonna do. I'm gonna tell you how this seed's gonna go. We're gonna forge ourselves a nice weapon for edge. I really hope we get some scrap just for memes.
Yes.
And then we're gonna go and do some egg grinding. So that's how the seed's gonna go.
Yeah, the interesting thing is going to be we're at 6 key items. I would be really tempted to check that pan just in case it's 2 more. You know, if you can somehow get to 10, does the 10 key items kind of offset stealing the sirens, or do you just go,
Ooh, what do we have? Is this a wyvern? That's a plague. So that's some good free experience at the very least. So you are right. We have more key items than characters right now, by the way. I mean, normally that's not that uncommon to say, but like we have so many key items. We only have 4 characters. We need to do a couple of more character checks. We need to go very least I see Dwarf Castle happening, like almost guaranteed. I do also agree with this check here in Sylph, as you're saying. We're looking for key items. We're more looking for characters really than anything else, and I think key items.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, with those sirens available, we still got to steal them. And we got to decide, are we really going to take 4 plus whomever's on the moon? One of them being, Edward, we haven't really found anything for Edward to contribute. We haven't found any good bows, no good arrows. So definitely going to be looking at some of the stuff. And we still have to complete Shield Cave and, Cave Value.
So let us harken back to a time, BK, as we have their characters doing some checks and doing some freebies. Zeus Gauntlet's a really nice pickup, though, on Castro's side. That's probably one of the better pieces of loot. That's not an edge weapon. Let us harken back to yet another Zemus race. We have Zemus 3. Let me introduce you to the Darkness Crystal Telestart that was Hook 2. You know what we did in that race? I took the first 5 characters I had, and that's kind of what you do in this scenario. It's you have grinded, and in all honesty, I honestly think that I would almost say D machines are kind of the way to go, but this is if life glitch was on 100%. We have both runners turning in this adamant at the same time though. But yeah, this is what you do. You find 5 characters, you grind, you go. You don't care. You just need a 5th body.
Yeah, and I think if you don't find
Called it.
You did. That's awesome. I think too, if I would not be surprised to see D Machine in this scenario.
Absolutely not. Although, good news here, we do have a reason to keep this Eddie around. That is an Artemis bow that you see there. So you throw that bandana, you buy that black belt on him too. You have the makings of a very nice hybrid strat. Or alternatively, you just let Edward stay on the ground and you just grind up to 1200 HP strats. There's a couple of really easy ways and really very straightforward ways on how to do the rest of the seed. None of them are going to be easy. You're going to be looking for some money, one of them. The other one, you're kind of just looking to go and steal some eggs.
Yeah, so PK is going to be doing the dwarf check. He did not pop up to see who was in the top of Zot, so doesn't know who the boss here is. He could be looking for Wyvern, maybe not have to do Sealed Cave.
So that is a Mylon and Friends, by the way, here at the first spot, because we've seen Zed. Zed is currently chilling in the waterfall, which is very reminiscent of something else. But we are going to have Castro. We have dueling checks. We have Castro giving us both Sheila 1 and 2. Does she have some goods? Twin Harp. We're not going to see that happen, as sad as I know everyone is. And look, that's a character check. Now, that is really, really nice. We can go do a quick check there, reset out immediately, and then probably go check the character on the moon, because as pointed out in chat, we haven't checked the moon character yet, so we have no idea who's up there.
And that could be really good routing too. If you go and grab that hook character, go check the moon character, and then you decide, hey, we're going to do D Machine, and you fly right there. That's going to be really heads up routing, as we are seeing Castro run over, grab this hovercraft, and is going to be giving us a look at this character.
So the thing is, we've had this discussion. There's been a lot of grind discussion in the past that I know I've had discussions with some of the higher ones up. For example, people who have won tournaments, and just people who have done a whole lot of seeds and a whole lot of vanilla runs. And the order of operations for grinding seems to be, if you are at double items, or double XP, you generally do eggs. If not, you then do D machines. Now, we have an interesting secondary part in that, in the simple fact that we do not have the life glitch on. So that makes D machines actually technically a little bit worse, because you aren't going to be getting as much XP and as much of a slingshot off that. So while we have an Oh My Body on PK's side, and a pretty solid shop in all honesty in this Evelyn, the thought is, I think eggs are just generally a better overall grind if you're not slingshotting, and you're kind of not. This Palam's got enough levels. Your team, is like level 35. Sparkle, are we going to get most of the objectives done before we even touch the moon? Please. And that's a poor... That is a welcome sight. All right, remember that slingshot I was talking about? Let's just throw that out of the way.
Well, and keep in mind, too, PK's Palam is dead. So PK's Palam is going to be missing 40k experience. Now, granted, so is Edward and Tella, but you can fix that by going and popping the starter sirens that you got. There's another slingshot target. You get rid of that Eddie, you pick up that Porum, you have reflex strats and edge. And actually, we have the curse ring to make this even better. Also, that was another Lunar Sparkle. So we've seen Plague, we've seen... we haven't seen any of the others, so it's not like a guarantee there's a Wyvern there, but that's going to be at the runner's mind a little bit.
And PK pulling it very short and very close and playing with my emotions there. Like, was that a wipe? 33 HP, 32 HP, more than you need. That's a dead Porum too, which is really good. That can keep a slingshot alive, unlike the character herself.
Yeah, we're seeing Castro took the Rydia because, he had to. And exiting out, we'll see if he's going to be heading to the moon or if he's going to go elsewhere. I would assume if this is a key item, PK is definitely going to go check that pan.
Oh, 100%. I think pan's next up on the market, especially with what the pan leads into. That's a tower key. Oh, man. That is a lot of key items that we've been given kind of furiously. We have 8 key items, 9 key items known right now. In all honesty, I would be very tempted to check either top of tower, and if it's not a key item, reset out of it, and then go and check tower key. That's so. This is so interesting
Yeah,
because that
and
one extra key item cuts half the grind.
right, and you're going to be going there anyway to steal Siren. So if that's your plan, you're already going to go there. You might as well do it while you're there. Whereas Castro's going on the moon. If Castro decides, hey, this fifth character is good, and just goes and does D Machine.
This is very true. But the thing is, it's a comment from chat that Night has is that, yeah, we do have the key item, the crystal itself, counting for 10. However, you kind of want to grind before you fight that Cave Bahamut fight. 9 times out of 10, it could be a very free fight. The only free fight we have left is the Kaipo guards. We've seen every other one of them. We've seen King Queen Evelyn, we've seen Dark Imps, and we've seen where the Baron guards are. So that fight, unless it is something extremely free, which I can't.
Not
really
very many options other than Water Hag, and Water Hag's punchy in that spot. It's not free.
No, it's definitely not free. Castro is going to see who we're going to replace this Edward with, or we're going to find a dupe 100%. Whereas PK treading old ground, and he's going to be getting himself another pair of key items himself.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see, because PK has not raised the hovercraft, I don't think. So will he take the time to do that, to do another character check?
Ooh, there's a dupe Eddie. That's not what you want to see. Castro is keeping it, though. I think he knows, because we haven't found our pass yet.
Yeah, he's going to have to come through here again.
Might as well take this and just go back down to the earth, and I kind of don't hate that. He might even just go straight up to D-Money right now? Who knows?
And he's going to check and see who's in K value. PK did a quick check there to see if he could reset out of that. He's like, oh, I'm at 9 key items.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't really reset out of any of that. If you're in PK's shoes right now, again, BK, I know you're a big fan right now of heading up to the tower. Do you go and do you just save scum sealed cave maybe?
I don't think so, because it's an objective. You got to clear it out. So I would be very tempted to at least crack a few eggs before doing it.
Wow.
Are
you kidding me? That is a free value cave if you have an hourglass, or if this Tella can live. What you do is you take this edge, and you've got to put him in another location though. You got to put him in, say, top or in bottom, and you've got to have that Tella in the middle so that he can land those stops. And then if Palom has it, I think he does at level 20. I could be very mistaken. You put Palom in the top actually, and the two of them just start casting stop, and you can even just chain stop, and then Tella just stones the middle one, or Tella just casts stone. This is a really risky fight, but it's a very, very free fight if it goes in your favor.
Yeah, if you could pull this off, then that, granted, you're coming back up here anyway. We don't have a pass. PK sees the Edward, goes all the way back to Earth. He's going to be looking for 10 key items. Let's see if Castro can pull this out. I suspect, like you said, he's either going to try and stop, or he's going to try and stone him.
Yeah, and we see that Edge is currently looting on the life item, and I kind of agree with this, because you're going to have to make sure you get this. This Tella alive, and just do any damage you can to these poor officers, because he hasn't found the cursed ring that we have on PK's side. So this is a very big reward if he can get around to this Tella's turn. And yeah, he does have stuff on his Palom, but opting instead to do Virus, very smart play. The more attacks you can get out of here, the better off for your Tella in the long run.
Yeah, and this is a slower spot, and it's not very punchy either. This is a magic power spot. I mean, it is punchy for some fights, but apparently for these Baron guards, they hit Eddie for like 100.
I mean, I don't know how you feel about the punchy spot, but remember, this is tied for the highest physical attack spot in the game.
I saw Edward take 100 damage twice. I don't know what Edward's wearing right now, but whew.
That is very lucky. Oh, right, because the guard attack power here is a little bit different. But yeah, Tella doing his thing. The kids that you want to have down are in fact down.
Yep.
Getting that absolutely wonderful stone off. Getting that slingshot probably up a little bit better. And a Masamune.
Wow.
Can you get any better? Oh, the best part about this was still that zonk in the forge though. That's probably my favorite part so far.
Yeah, hoping to get one of those nice edge weapons and you get the scrap. But meanwhile, K Value having the value with a free fight that PK has not seen yet, and rewarding with Masamune. Castro is heading back underground though, or back to the blue planet.
So you're Castro in this situation. You are not a big fan of the entirety of your squad. You have Eddie, you have a wannabe white mage in Tella, and you have two black mages that you're going to want to just get a crap load of spell levels on. Do you go check another character? Like, do you do this last check and go, okay, I hope there's also another key item in sealed cave, or do you just sealed and go? Or in the face of Castro, do you just grind?
He's grinding. Yeah, he's setting up the manipulation.
Or
he's gonna do.
That's enough.
Yep, he's going for it. He is gonna demachine this party, 8 key items, and he is just gonna grind it. Whereas we've seen PK has now picked up the Rydia. We will see if he decides to go and get 10 key items in Steel Sirens, or is he gonna do the demachine?
So we talked about going and doing a grind and setting up the D machines, but we're not in the Giant of Babel. Why are we over here, by the way? And why is he just running back and forth in the same two spots?
So with the Lolly Holy, one of the ways that we wanted to make the D machine, not as efficient as it is with the life glitch on, was if new flag was introduced of you can't run in vanilla Giant. So it made it so that if you go into the Giant, you have to complete it. So if you can't run, you can't use the manipulation very well within the Giant. But the community members have figured out a way to get around that. And so they found a way to do the same RNG manipulation outside of Baron. And now we've got this where you can come outside of Baron, count your steps just like you do inside, and manipulate fights within the Giant.
That is actually really fantastic. And yeah, shoutouts to the entirety of the community in Free Enterprise. We have some people who've done some vanilla speedrunning. We have some people who are witches and know exactly how agility works. And we call them witches, and they are magicians. But it's great of how much work they've done. And that is a turtle you'd like to see in a very low HP spot. But the amount of resources that we have and the amount of information that's just been thrown around in the community and just given is so great and just so high.
PK, did he miss it there, or is he just trying to make sure this Rydia doesn't do nothing? Because
he's
making sure that. Yeah, because that was
that 10k XP would probably keep her within slingshot range, but I 100% agree, and then let's just better be safe than sorry at this point. Especially when all you're doing is looking for one key item. I would be very tempted to go and save scum this. It's is this a key item? No, reset, go back up and climb the rest of the tower and hope.
Yeah, and I hadn't seen where he was, where he had saved, if he saved. Oh, and that is what he's doing.
Yeah, I agree with this. There's no reason for you to have to take the top fight unless it's Wyvern. That's about the only reason why you would go up there and look. But you just don't care. I've got everything I need. I can go defeat Cave Bahamut once I've got some levels. I just need that last key item to half my grind. And this honestly is where the rest of the run could come down to. Mm-hmm. We have a 8 key item grind to a possible 10 key item grind. Is the time invested to get this 10th key item worth it versus the double XP? If this is a key item here, this is going to be really, really big for PK. And this will probably get him caught up, if not, slingshot him ahead. Not really, pun kind of intended. Because he still has to do the Cave Bahamut fight, which is going to be no problem for a really high-level party. But if this is nothing, this is a lot of time invested for nothing, that he's going to see this cutscene again.
Oh, and it is nothing. He's got to decide now, where's he going to go?
Yeah, you see that pause, and it's just... I think he's saving out here, and
Oh,
he's gonna see what the top is. I like this
that
play. This
is a
is really
heads
smart.
up play right there.
So as we said, the save in the tower looks like he did save before that check, which again, save early, save often. Really good heads up thing for him to do. This way, if there's a key item here, all he has to do is walk down. He doesn't see that exit thing again, and maybe he steals some sirens on his way out. But if this is not a key item, he's already run out. So all he has to do is just go, leave, and then run around again. So really, again, this is where some of the runners can kind of just like come up ahead with other things. Oh, just a Yang. Easy-ish fight, but yeah, you need to start healing some people, my dude, because this is easy, but this is a truck of HP.
It's a lot of HP, and you're going in here with, gonna have most of your mage casters dead. He doesn't necessarily have the ethers that he wants to burn yet, so he is gonna go back to the save point, probably pop a tent if he has found one, or another save.
Absolutely. So we do see Castro is actually down here, gets the treasure chest on the first. That has been here more often than it hasn't been, by the way. I just want to say that. So what Castro did is he did get the manipulation wrong. I have been very much one of the people who have done that myself. I have thought I was right. I miscounted, or I ran from one fight too many or one fight too few, and then I've had to restart a manipulation all over again. This is very smart. Instead of setting up for another one, he's like, okay, I am behind in the key items and I do not have this manipulation ready. This is the easier, quote, way of doing it. You raise everybody up, stop virus, or stop in some attacks. So this is a very smart adaptation from Castro, and this is really good. This is what separates some of the higher tier runners from some of the guys who like, yeah, if we're still getting, I wouldn't have thought about this. I would have just gone and redone the manip.
And for me personally, I tend to do the manip that's within the giant itself, so that would have led me to just reset and redo. But if I were doing the you can't run manipulation, I would 100% agree to do this pivot. The other thing too is that Castro has that Masamune, so he is going to be cracking eggs a lot faster than PK is, because it's going to take PK a little bit longer to be able to start one-shotting him.
This is very true, where he always does already have some levels on this kid. He can res him up and keep him healed. He should be getting close to, if not at Quake after this, and that Yang is not holding back.
No, he
is
not.
putting some hurt onto people, but it looks like all PK's got to do is put the kind of controller down and be like, well, this is going to either win or it's going to lose.
And for how much this Yang is hitting, edge on PK's side, I don't think he's got an issue. He's going to be able to live through this. So it's just going to be a matter of, is this a key item? Is this what PK needs to get to 10?
Yeah, if this is a key item, PK's kind of in the clear. Yeah, that edge just doing so much work. Even Ninja Longsword edge just putting in work. That's exactly what PK needed. And that's even a pink tail. Do we get double Hanzo steal for this edge? I would be so tempted to check that pink tail. I wouldn't in a situation like this, but I'd be so tempted.
Absolutely check it before going to the moon, though, just in case, so that you can just continue your walk all the way there. PK is going to be looking and probably start looting here in a second, looking for these sirens. He's already got his party dead, so it's going to be really easy to just start stealing sirens.
Oh, absolutely. And the really nice thing is, as you said, one character alive, well, menuing's not really a problem. Although the thing is with two mages and with how much XP Rydia needs to get to 50, I actually see this, especially with 10 key items, I see D machines. I honestly see D machines. As much as eggs are faster in some aspect, it's D machines for Rydia specifically.
Well, and think about it, though, too. He did not loot anywhere. He walked out. If he was going to steal sirens, he probably would have did that on the way out.
True. Also, for question in chat for Frankie Bones, you only need like 5. That is true for everybody except Rydia. So what you need, because the life glitch is not on, you are going to need to do 11 D machines to get her up to nuke. Because she requires 21 D machines to get there, double XP, you need 11. Probably going to give a little bit more XP onto this Palom. I 100% agree with this, because he is just a little bit outside of slingshot range. Or is he leveling for him?
Yeah, he's doing the Porum, and that's a base level Rydia. So it'll actually, I'm looking at the grind calculator from another community member, Zoe Vermillion. It's actually only 6 for that Rydia. So that's really huge. He is going to take these to nuke, and Porum only needs Cure 4.
And see, this is why you're here. You keep me honest, and you keep me reminding that. I forget that it's double and then slingshot. I was thinking also the everything is outside of that, and man, thank goodness you're here. Huge shout outs to our boy Bad Karma here. Give him a follow, as well as the ones who are putting on the show in the background. Neo Bari, who's doing our restream, and Heart Gamer, who's doing our tracking. Lit up a lot of items fast and furiously, and now is getting to be in a little bit of a lull as we get our siren, and we're going to have our grind starting.
Look at that. That Porum is already level 32.
I mean, that's pretty much all you're going to need her to do. And then, yeah, we're going to get another siren just to make sure she gets more than enough levels. I 100% agree with this.
Yeah, now I'm curious what PK's target is for Porum. Is he going to take her to white, or is he just wanting Cure 4?
We have a cursed. So what are we going to do here? This is the big question. I really foresee D money is going to be happening. I think that's just a no-brainer here. Yeah, PK is definitely going for the D monies now. Whereas we do have these life potions going up and getting people up. We are in the sling range of them again. So yeah, Castro is going to be cracking his eggs and doing a little bit of work here. Probably, is that edge back road?
Yes, he did have a boomerang earlier.
I never saw that, so I was not sure. But yeah, we're going to get some stones out here from the old man. If you would like to hit, tell a life, please.
Oh, PK must have forgot something and has to redo his eggs.
That is very interesting. I wonder what caused him to have to reset. That's something we're going to have to ask him.
Ethers.
Oh, ethers. Interesting.
I don't think he has any.
Oh, yeah, that's correct. He has to go grab ether, so he was setting up for his grind. And was he already in the tower?
He was already, so he didn't want to waste the cutscene, but probably didn't realize that his save was all the way back here.
That's very true. And also, I agree with Castro here. Eddie hiding at the beginning of every fight gets really annoying and takes up a lot of unnecessary time. Just heal him up so he stops hiding, and that way you can just kind of keep going with this edge here. And Edge just that little bit outside of the damage required to one hit, but Edge and Eddie, again, this is a repeat of the beginning of the seed. We do have Edge and Eddie doing all the damage, knocking some enemies down. But with the levels that we're getting on the Kid and on the Rydia, they can honestly step up and do some quacks if we really wanted them to. Hopefully another couple levels, and then Edge will just be one-hitting enemies and not have an issue.
Yeah, unfortunately though, because of the sub 10, it is 30 eggs that he's got to get through to get that Rydia all the way to nuke. That's a lot of eggs to crack.
Absolutely. But again, with another couple levels on this edge, hopefully it'll start going into one-hit territory, and that's where it's really going to be, I guess, picked up. But this is going to be very, very interesting which way it goes. I'm kind of curious as if he's not getting all the XP, and if he's just going to be doing fights on inside Luca, maybe some extra doors since he didn't grab enough, or if maybe he's just going to grab the key item, take the fight, and say, hopefully that's enough XP.
Yeah, how high he decides to go. He did steal all 30 sirens, so and the other thing too that we have to take into account, Dathlis, is Castro doesn't have that Porum. So he's going to be relying either on an Asura summon, and that I don't think we've seen one, or getting Tella up, or having Edge find some Cure 3s and start throwing those.
So we have seen Cure 3s. Castro has seen them. They are in the Evelyn shop. He does have 8 in his inventory. So that is more than that is enough to get us for hybrid strats, I think. Especially if we don't have to rely too heavily on this Tella. Because I almost guarantee that this Edge is going to be on chemist duty. It's going to be Eddie and Tella dead, and they're going to be bouncing nukes off of this, off of Edge's wall. So I don't see it going that hard, and maybe he gets himself 8 to 10 more just if he wants to give himself the absolute security in that. But I don't foresee much of an issue for healing. But it is going to be a 3-character show. It's going to be Edge and the children.
Yeah, and that's another difference between Castro and PK is while they have the same number of children, Riddia's grown up for PK.
I mean, this is fair. I wouldn't really call Edward a child, even though he cries and hides. But aside from that, I still say he's an actual adult.
No, PK's got both twins.
Yeah, PK's got both twins, but Castro's got Eddie.
Yeah, and he's got Palom and Riddia as the other 2 kids.
Come on, man.
There's some weird logic here.
I respect the logic, but come on, dude. Castro, fairly happy so far with the grind. Might just be wanting to heal to get everyone's HP and MP up. Maybe jumping right into Luca Cave right now, and we'll see. We'll see how he goes through the rest of this, because I know he's not done the grind. Those are not Z levels anywhere near. Or he could have only been grinding up to 1200 HP.
That's possible. Also, he could just be doing enough to be able to clear Sealed Cave. Maybe he gets another key item out of there, and it's going to be like, I can speed this up by, maybe fishing for another one and doing Dwarf.
True, but he'd still be 1 key item short, and I do agree with him going and hunting for them. If there is a key item here, he does Dwarf Castle, and that should get him enough, if I'm counting correctly. Yeah, do Dwarf Castle, and that'll give him enough. But I don't honestly foresee that, especially now that he's done his grind and with a character check. If you're going to be doing a character check key item location, you would have done that, I think, pre-grind.
And I agree. So, and we're seeing PK seems to have his manipulation all set up, so he is getting into his fight as we are not taking any doors on the way down. I know some of you out there are probably hoping for it, but
I am.
But he's not going to take any. We'll see what this key item is, what this boss is, and see if Castro can get through it.
Absolutely. And Heartgamer also pointing out that if this is a key item here, Crystal does give him 10. So this actually is a really good play if there's a key item here. If there's not a key item here, and him cutting the grind, I guess, basically in half. Yeah, looking at those levels, I definitely smell some 1200 HP strats going on.
Yeah, knowing that he's up against a runner that, is as strong that PK is, he's top 16. He's finished, I believe, top 4 in the last event as well. So, that you've got to take some chances. There's a key item. It's a character check too, but I don't think we're going to be seeing that one. But you've got to take a gamble, and that could just be we're going to go low-level strats here.
Absolutely, and by the time this could be basically, depending on the fight here. That's not bad. We have Quake on the kids, so this is actually okay. We cast Berserk on Edge, and we throw on some daggers and a Quake, and this is kind of not really that much of a fight.
Yeah, this is not as punchy as I would have thought it was.
No, this is not a punchy spot. That vampire, when it goes out, though, you're gonna love that.
Yeah, and if you aren't aware, the programmers of Final Fantasy IV had to put in some stat. So even if the normal boss fight here, such as the Evil Wall, doesn't necessarily need spell power, they kind of buffed it up a little bit to make sure that those gradual petrifies still worked. So that is why we see some root fights here that can definitely lead to some heart pain. Is what I like to, is what I experience anyway.
Absolutely. So actually, to correct that a little bit, this spot you say just does nothing but punch. However, you'd be mistaken, and that is all it does. Crush itself is a magic-based attack. So what that has to do is that has to have a decent magic stat. So what you need to do is you need to have half decent magic to make sure that it will hit 100% of the time, which is what I'm pretty sure was the goal there. So the reason why the magic here is so high is because it's to make sure that you guaranteed hit those crushes when this is current content.
Yeah, and Awoken Smoke, I think PK had miscounted somewhere because he was not getting his grind fight, so he had to restart. But it looks like he's got the right one now.
Yeah, and again, never been the person who's ever taken a fight and said, "Oh, this should be my grind fight." I'm sorry, why is that a horseman and not a dragon?
I'm pretty sure we've all done that. But at 57 minutes, Castro is our first runner with the crystal in hand, 4 objectives completed. Let us see where he decides to. Is he going to finish these eggs, or is he going to go all the way to the Zeromus? Meanwhile, PK is doing the D Machine, only needs about 5 or 6.
So the really interesting thing I think about this seed is we saw Underground Access at 21 minutes. We saw Go Mode at 25 minutes. We're now 57 minutes in the seed. This has basically been looking for enough of a grind and looking for, some characters, which is very interesting to me that we went from, hey, this seed, I honestly thought that this seed would have been maybe a sub 40 minute, and then Oscar would have been very jealous having rolled like the lowest time in the seed, in this current tournament. But right now we're hitting about our usual stride in seed completion time.
Yeah, and this is going to probably be, depending on if Castro cracks the rest of his eggs or not, probably going to be around the 115, 120, I think, for both runners. PK, like I said, only has to do 6 of these D Machines, so, and is, I think, halfway done already. So, unfortunately, had the stumble of setting it up, but he was already up there, so was able to set it up again. Still has to do Sealed Cave, still has to do Cave Value, but he's going to breeze right through those.
Absolutely. And this is something that I think is really interesting with the advent of the life glitch being taken out. We don't need to see all 5 characters up and everybody doing something in this D Machine fight. We don't need to see one person trigger, telecast weak, someone hit the enemy, someone cast life, someone cast cure, like all those little song beats going on there. The nice thing is with Edge doing flame, he kills the D Machine, and then he goes into the next searcher, and then it summons the next D Machine. So you just keep the fight. So instead of a nice little pace that's going on like this, we have a good little fight that's happening like this, and we get to go on 4x4x4. So it's really, I think it's a really smart and really interesting change to how we're used to doing some races versus some other grinds.
And also, too, it's a really heads-up play to think about that, because if you can, make this fight really efficient for Edge, it puts it on par with you stealing the eggs and killing the eggs. So, PK is showing a different way that you don't have to just be pigeonholed into one grind depending on your characters.
And the really nice thing is with Porum, I'm not sure if she's been back road glitch at some point. Did that Thor Rage just miss?
I think it did.
Oh, he used the Starveil instead. That's entertaining. Okay, that I mean, we've all been there before. Miss Anyway, I know many times and I'm like, I'm gonna cast Cure 4 with my White Mage. Why did they just cast Sight?
Yeah, and that's going to be a problem here, because if he's going to need a heal on whomever used that Starveil. Oh, it's just the ninja. He's probably fine.
Could get him up in a little bit if we really wanted to. What we could do is just throw out a hit, wait out the Starveil, and then continue going on.
Hard Gamer, our tracker, pointing out another one that has definitely bitten a number of people. Casting Warp in a fight like this.
Oh, Warp in the middle of an actual grind? That is a heartbreak and a half. But yeah, we do have our dueling grinds going on here. And again, I want to do a big shout out to these runners, Castro and PK. PK being up the one game, Castro fighting to keep into this round of 32, putting on one heck of a show. And again, putting on the show quite literally so that Bad Karma and I can kind of sit up here and pretend we know what we're doing. I pretend, Karma does. We have, again, Neobari running the restream, and as we were mentioning, Hard Gamer, our tracker, now get to sit back and give a nice little bit of insight from things that she's seen, things that she's done. One of our lovely runners in the community too.
One thing to point out too is that these runners ran a race yesterday. This is the technically today is the first official opening of the week. We still have a week full of races for the round of 32.
Indeed, yeah. This is a great opening day. We've had the return of one of our admins rolling a very interesting seed. I'm not going to say more than that about it. You guys definitely need to go see the match that happened on Free Enterprise earlier on. Was a wonderful return to form for her, and we now have this jet seed turned into medium levels of garbage, is what I'm going to call it. Because now it's like, hey, and you have both access to both levels of grind, and we're seeing both of them here too, which is really fantastic.
Yeah, and looking back to the start of the seed, the reason it was so jetty, all of those free boss fights, all of them, all in the first 4 checks.
Yeah, and I was really hoping it's like, okay, maybe we got some key items buried. Maybe we're gonna have to do some fighting to find this magma key, and the hook is everywhere. No, it's just Neobari just said, nah, I've got some key items I want to give you guys. Let's see how we're gonna have this happen. And we do have Nuke on the side of Castro right there. That is going to be a good time, and we are going to get ready, I think, to to buy some stuff from Cocoa Forge.
Yeah, so even with Nuke, he's got to make sure not to spend all of his money. He's got what, eight tier 3s, maybe might need a few more.
Yeah, I'd definitely buy some more tier 3s. You got to buy, I think you're going to be getting at least a power shirt here, because you're leaning a fair bit on Edge's early damage and then transitioning into the rest of your nukes. Maybe that life staff, depending, or maybe even, maybe get that crystal ring. With everything that's here, I don't think even if he sold the bank, he's going to have he may be just shy of what's going to be necessary.
Yeah, and he's looking hard for it.
And this is also the sign of a really great runner too. It's like, what can I get rid of versus what I need to keep? And it is just that little bit of a shame. It's like, oh, yep, he did just get enough. That crystal ring is going to be very beneficial. Now, the real question is, I don't think I saw a silk web as inventory.
Did not.
Does he have one siren left?
He does not.
So the rare enemy around here is a tunneler, which its steel is a silk web, which would be really good for that Zeromus fight and kind of something very, very nice to have. But Cash was like, nope, you know what? We're going to go. Also, unlike PK, does not have this cursed ring, so this is going to be a very shenanigans fight. Well, speaking of fights, PK is done. There's Nuke on your characters. This is, we're going to get some Z fights going dueling pretty soon.
So, interesting, PK getting that extra siren is going to be huge because he did not have one more siren. So he could go and steal that silk web if he needed to, but it also took his Porum to white.
That is very true, and that's the thing. We could just get straight reflex strats from him, so that is going to be a much faster fight in that aspect. And again, when we get down to this this Baigan fight, he's just going to walk over it and say, "I'm sorry, you're going to meet a couple of quakes." Answer question in chat. Who's hero? Our hero is Edge. Very, very speedy boy.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I think if you're PK, you're gonna go hit Steel Cave first. Possibly, we haven't seen a pass, so unless we see the pass in Sealed Cave, which we know he's not going to.
Yeah, just the lowly Baron key, and Castro is just running and yawming down. This is a long walk, and this is honestly a tense walk for Castro. Again, being a game down, and he made a lot of really good calls. Both these runners have played the seed basically near flawlessly, though. There has been no wrong check. Every check that everyone does, that every runner has made, has been with the most information they had at the time, and has been absolutely fantastic. These guys have been pretty much in step for a majority of this race, and I'm really curious to see how much of a time difference we have.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that with this loadout, PK is going to be a few minutes behind, but he also did a little bit extra. He did 2 extra checks in the Tower of Babel, and he did Dwarf Castle, so he's done 3 extra checks against Castro. So that's going to play into this finish But because of those extra checks, PK has a true white mage in Porum, whereas Castro is going to be relying on those 8 cure 3s.
This is true. The big thing is, as you said, is how are these heals going to go? How is this fight going to be? This is a lot scarier of a fight on Castro's side. Yeah, because we have, what do we have? We have 2 nuke casters, a basically wannabe white mage in Tella, and we have a chemist for 8 turns with edge. This is nowhere near ideal, not even close. Remember how we talk, those battle speed to 3, that's going to help a lot. Remember how we say that no Zeroma's fight is free? This is a very prime example of that.
Yeah, this is me as a runner. This is not a fight I am comfortable with. If Castro is feeling comfortable, that shows why he is in the round of 32. And I would have done the extra checks that PK had also done to do this. Just that's my own comfort level. If Castro pulls this off, that's a fantastic win, because like I said, this is not going to be an easy fight.
Yeah, and you and I were kind of like the way these runners were both going. You were with PK, let's get 10 key items and go. I was like, do you just get your sirens and grind? I mean, like, no, and again, no call is wrong. Both calls absolutely right in this aspect. It's just which is more correct at the time. And both of them were right. This is a faster fight for PK leveling wise, but let's get away from that. PK, we're about to start the big bat at the end of the seed. Why, again, Z flags everywhere. What's up with that?
I mean, there is no more Zool. I stole that from somebody.
There is no seed. There is, in fact, only Zool.
But yeah, no, we can't randomize where Zeromus is like we can randomize all the other bosses. He's too big, he's too powerful, he's too ugly. We're gonna meme it up a little bit more here, but we can make him a little prettier. Usually, sometimes, maybe. So the question on everybody's mind right now is whose Tookus is gonna get the Bookus?
And we do have some scholarly characters, so there is some books going to be slinging. We do have some very dangerous HP on specific side. Castro's Rydia, very, very low. This Tella nerfed Big Bangs, and he could survive. A 1200 HP roll is going to be a little rough. Also, to answer chat, yes, that is battle speed 3 on his side. This is going to be a little bit more beneficial for him. Also, I recognize this boss, but I can't place it right now.
Why? That is so familiar.
And yeah, we see a couple of people in chat just like, Rhapsody, a musical adventure. And to agree with Scholar Kitty, one of our lovely artists and art wizards, as I like to call Ver, says that that's a damn cute butt, and I agree. It's a very haughty butt as well.
Yes.
HAUGHTY, by the way.
All right, so we've got this setup going. We had the counter of the slow, I assume, hit Edward.
That's not right. Edward should have kind of gotten knocked down with that.
Castro did redistribute a lot of armor around. I think Edward is wearing the crystal ring.
That would actually be it, and that would be a really good call as to why he took that like a boss. I think I would have probably put that on this Tella, because you need him to live. He is basically your healer here. If he takes, that's a good hit. That's a good start. That is way more HP than he needs to die from. From HP run out. That's not what you want to see. But as we said, Cure 4 on the Cure 3 pots going out. This is still going to be a little scary. That Tella, HP not going to run out, but we're going to get a little close.
Yeah, meanwhile, PK did one last round of shopping. I believe he grabbed a crystal ring and is heading out. Does he pop the siren to get a silk web, or is he content with his 2 white mages that will cast slow?
Yeah, I think he's just happy with what he's got, because he knows that I think in PK's situation, taking those extra checks, he is, and you would feel behind. I would be very much feeling behind in this situation to be like, you know what, I could steal a Silk Web, or I can do Cave Bahamut and run down and yom.
Yep, and that's what he's going to be doing, especially once he sees these Kaipo guards sitting in the cave. That's going to be his last barrier. Meanwhile, is this Big Bang nerf?
I did not see it. I'm going to hope that it is, because if it is not, then this is going to be a very painful...
Oh,
that is a full Big Bang. But the thing is, the HP that is on Palom with the gear, and Edge is not going to die to any Big Bang whatsoever. This is kind of best case scenario. Now you only really need to heal 2 people, and you can even have Edge just throw Cure 2s on himself. Cure 3 is the Cure 3 the Palom, Cure 2 himself, and you're kind of sitting pretty, really.
Yeah, he's really gonna have to get, even though with this Palom is geared, still could get a random high roll that could just knock him out. So we'll see how he's gonna handle this. Getting the star, nope, getting the life up.
So this is a little bit scary. We're still in the first... Oh, no, that's a shake. Never mind. I was going to say, we're still in the first section of the script. We should see an AoE virus come out. And that's where it's going to be a little painful.
I think that's going to come after this next Big Bang.
This Big Bang, yeah, is not going to be a good time for pretty much anybody here.
Yeah, I think the virus is coming after this Big Bang. Oh, and that was a high roll on Edge, too.
Yeah, I think that was our 9x Big Bang, that one. So this is
and there's the virus.
That was not a kind Big Bang. So as I said, Zeromus, there are so many fights where we just take it to power overwhelming and we just say, Zeromus, get out of here, and we backhand him. And then there are fights like this where we just go, oh my lord, this hurts, because Zeromus still is not a joke. No matter how many times we beat him, no matter how many butts we kick and how many seeds we defeat, Zeromus can find a way, or the seed itself can find a way to make this very, very unkind.
So my question is, I did not catch it. What is the agility of Castro's Edge?
Well, I didn't see his level, and I have no idea what his level is. It's going to be just not a good time. Answer a question on chat. Do we have Asura? There is no Asura summon that has been seen. Our healing is those 8 Cure 3s and however many Cure 2s that are in Castro's inventory. He's on a limited spread.
Yeah, and that's going to make it really hard for Edge to contribute extra damage, because after that first Big Bang, he is only going to be throwing Cure Pods.
Yeah, and it's really hard to justify nerfing another Big Bang when you only have 1 Star Veil up and you have 3 characters. That's a game of chance that I'm not even willing to take, as much as I love gambling on fights like this. This is not something that you look at and go, yeah, this is 100% going to be great.
All right, but round 2, lower to battle speed 4 this time. We'll see if he can knock this out. And it's going to be a lot of the same stuff. And man, this Zeromus is so fast, I feel like.
Speaking of fast, we do have PK completing his last objectives. He has his crystal. He sees that other Edward. He says, glad I didn't come here early to try and find that character. He's mashing his buttons and he is running right down. He is hot on Castro's heels.
Yeah, and that's going to come down to how efficient is PK in this fight. Does Castro get another bad roll Big Bang like he had in the first fight, or is he going to be able to push through this? This is so tight.
Yeah, this is honestly kind of what you want to see a fight come down to in some aspect. You want to watch these fights by runners of this caliber just be so very excellent and so very close. But yeah, waiting a little bit longer on the nuke this time. Gets that first nuke off with Rydia, so we're going to get a bit more damage. A solid 5,300, but this Palom honestly going to be the carry of this seed. Throwing out, I saw quad 9s last time.
Yeah, definitely needs a few more of those high rolls. If you are unfamiliar with the Zeromus fight, the programmers wanted to give Zeromus, 120,000 HP, but due to the limitations of the Super Nintendo, you can only go up to about 65,000, I think. So they programmed a refill as a counterattack into Zeromus' script. So around 45,000 damage. If you do direct damage to Zeromus, he refills his health all the way back to 65,000. You can skip that by exploiting another aspect of the wonderful coding that is Final Fantasy IV and reflect spells, which counters do not fire on reflected spells. So you can skip that HP refill.
And answer a comment that was done in chat. Why is Castro pairing with Edge? Well, right now he actually has nothing good to throw. I think actually no, he has nothing to throw. He has sold his bank.
Yeah.
The only thing he could do would be unequip his Masamune and Ninja Sword and throw those. But he might need that to get himself out of the situation at the end when he can kind of just hold A and go. So you can't really throw the bank now when the bank is literally your life savings if you get into a rough situation.
Yeah, needed to burn all that money so that he could afford some of the items that's gonna increase his chances to survive some of these rough big bangs. Crystal Ring and the Power Shirt on Edge. So it's really interesting to see how that money is going to take into effect here. And granted, the things he sold were not going to be useful in this fight anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Sold like every single arrow that he could. This big bang is going to be a medium roll. I think this is the 8 roll. It's a 6 roll. So should top out somewhere in the near 2,000 on this Palom. Rydia is going to be taking less. And the really nice reason why she's going to take less, not only does she have a high will save, I think it is. I think it's for white mage casters. But she also has a white shirt on. Mm-hmm. So she has a lot of magic defense right now. So she will be taking less from most big bangs than other characters will. That is an interesting slow. That is not the target you really want to have it hit.
Oh no.
Actually, that's an okay roll. If he gets low rolled on this big bang, he should be okay. But this is where we're kind of in like the nitty gritty teeth nail biter right now.
Oh, it nerfed, but it was a high roll nerf.
That is not what you want to see. So when we say rolls, we talk about the fact that each big bang, most spells have multipliers. Big bangs have different rolls that they can do. I think it's 6, 8, and then 8 and then 9 is what I remember correctly. I can't remember exactly how many rolls each big bang has off the top of my head. But it can also roll high and it can roll low, whether they hit or miss. If they miss, then unfortunately you're not going to get a lot of work after that. Also, comments in chat and talk about it actually answered as well. Does slow stack twice and a silk web uses slow twice? Yes to both of those. So you want to have casters cast slow twice if you don't have a silk web. And the nice thing about casting it twice, that's 2 different separate nerfs you have.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so now we've got Castro back up. He's getting these reflected nukes off. Edge is in chemist mode. Meanwhile, PK is darting what he's got. He's going to get his nukes going. Has at least one slow out. Has white as well to add to the damage. We'll see if the few, like maybe a minute after, on the second fight behind.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is where we're seeing some back and forth. And this is where is Castro's time going in a little bit faster and taking those eggs sooner? Is that what made all the difference? Or are we going to have like a photo finish? Or are we going to have to get some admins to come back in and retime something? I'm hoping for the latter. I want to see a rematch of these guys. I want to see them push into game 3. If game 1 was anything near like this, and I heard it was, this is what I am here for.
There's the GG zone.
Oh,
that's
my
the nuke.
Lord.
And Castro is our winner. And we'll see about getting him in here for an interview. Official time, 1 hour, 20 minutes, 41 seconds. Get your GGs in chat. That was a tough fight.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie to you. I had a little breath holding that I wasn't really expecting. That was in fact a nail biter fight, and that is exactly what we talk about with lower level strats, no healer, HP's just in Z range, and throwing out those items. This is what we're talking about when we say Z fights that are dangerous, but extremely well executed. And this is the kind of runs that I am here for a finish. And in all honesty, PK is like barely a minute behind, and this is nothing to risk up. Not even a minute.
Wow.
30 seconds behind, and this is exactly what we want to see. We have a game 3 from our runners that are both joined us in the chat. GG's Castro and PK.
GG's to both of you.
Thank you. GG's.
Opening of
What
the
a
seed. Let's go with what we have. We have ourselves the edge start. How are you guys feeling?
Like you gotta go.
Well,
really
it's not.
fast. Yeah. Castro?
Yeah. Not ideal, but it was. Sometimes, Edge is fine because you get that strong start. It's really towards the end where he's like, man, he's not much of an anchor, or he makes you work real hard to be an anchor, and sometimes I don't even try. So I just let him do what he wants to do, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, you both handled it really well throughout the seed. You had really interesting divergence too. You both, faded some of the more usual checks that we see in terms of the early looting. PK, you went straight to Mount Hobbs. Castro, you did some looting in DMC and checked the waterfall. How are you guys feeling about the lack of looting? We're getting ready to see Castro's treasure count here. Castro, if you want to go first.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it was uncomfortable for me. It's something that I've been trying to work on and I have not been doing very well at, but I decided since Eddie he's a very strong character in the beginning, and I just decided if there was a time to just go for it and to loot as the least amount as possible, that this had to be it. So that's what I did.
Yeah, I mean the first chest I opened at a ninja sword ended up there on Hobbs, which was nice.
Yeah.
It's like I was like, okay, I'll probably have early Cave Eblin or early Underground, and then I'll get my looting done there. And then lo and behold, you clear everything and you don't have your underground access.
Yeah, about that demist on in Zot 1. How were you guys finished? How are you guys feeling about that? And when did you start thinking, oh my lord? And how much cursing of Neobardi was there?
It's one of those feelings where when it happens, you just like it's unbelievable in your head because it feels like you missed something and you're about to run up Zot and then look like you are like just praying for that check to pay off when you like forgot to do Baron in or something. So I just had to run back through my checks and my key items before I even went up there. But it's not a fun feeling.
Yeah, I'll echo that because after what was it Leviathan at Miss Cave, I thought, oh no, I've either really messed up or we have like the viewer's dream here where we have demissed it, hidden away. And I was like, I think I was saving a lot on my way up there because I thought, man, if I mess this up and this is not Demas, I'm gonna be really upset. But she was there, so that was fortunate. I'm sure y'all had a good laugh about that.
Oh no, we were laughing at the curses that we were coming up with. I wanted Demas to give you the Earth Crystal, so you had to go right back.
I was worried about, I was like, give me underground access. And then this is kind of like, both of our races have sort of come down to like, oh wait, we're in go mode. And I don't love that feeling.
Yeah. To piggyback off that, like when we did, I'm sorry if I'm stealing anyone's thunder here, but when we did get hit go mode, I almost thought to myself, again, I messed something up. There's no way we're in go mode because it was like, forgot the exact time, but it was like 40 minutes or so. I don't even know. It was
27 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I thought to myself, no way. Like, there's no way that you can be ready to go in 27 minutes. Like, I've messed something up, but again, that's where we found ourselves. So that was insane.
So here's the big thing that I have a question for Castro versus your grind versus PK's. We're 20-ish minutes into the run, and you're starting to think of, okay, how do we finish? Where do we go get our grind? You went 10 key item less grind before going into... You did your grind at 8 key items, the start of it. And then you went to go and do Luca Cave. Was there ever a time that it came across you like, maybe I'll go find my 10 key items and start my grind and then go do Luca and then finish it? Or what was the thought process in the way you did your grind?
Well, I mean, I was kind of flustered at that point because I had somehow either miscounted or I did something to my D machine grind, and then I tried to do it via the map, and I still have trouble reading the map, even though it's very straightforward. But my brain just can't wrap myself around it. So I pivoted to go and do scramble some eggs, and it was literally the dragon fight before, or the egg fight before I left to go do Luca. I thought, it'd be really funny if my 9th key item is at Luca, and I'm doing all this grinding, and it's going to pay off if I just go and do Luca, get my 9th key item, get the crystal for my 10th, and then go back and do the rest of it. And I thought, might as well go for it. If it's not my 9th and 10th, then I'll just finish it up here and just see what I can do. And I got lucky. Vigan wasn't so lucky, but I had done a grind to a point to where I could barely squeak on through that. So it turned out okay. But yeah, that didn't occur to me to go and try to. I mean, I thought about going to go do 10 key outs, but it didn't occur to me to go to Luca and see what was there until I actually left. It was like, what am I doing? Let's go see what's down there.
And I'm pretty sure you saw in Restream, but one of the last character checks for where PK went to go get his 10 key items, we did in fact have ourselves a lovely white mage. How did you feel with that Zeromus fight without a traditional setup, without DPS and then healers to back it up? How were you feeling?
Well, yeah, I was very glad that I was able to barely get Nuke on Rydia. Otherwise, I was going to have to do, a fight or two, a boss fight or two up on the Lunar Subterrane. But it was very uncomfortable. I've done it before in practice, though it usually looks about what that is. It takes me a time or two because I do find myself with agility. Sometimes it catches me off guard, and trying to loop back to try to do a spell to nerf a Big Bang doesn't make it all the time. But yeah, that was not the most comfortable feeling in the world, but I thought, I've done it before. I have, fortunately, two nuke casters, so might as well go and give it a shot.
Yeah, my grind went really well. Nothing to complain about there at all. It was perfect.
You know what? I didn't see anything other than textbook grind. I think we lost some footage there for a little bit. I'm not sure what happened, but I saw nothing but a textbook grind.
Forgetting to buy ethers after setting up my slingshot, resetting out to before setting up my slingshot.
I didn't
to getting the horseman on misreading the chart apparently, and then finally getting into it, and then the Star Veil on.
Well, that was wonderful.
Well, it was so unfortunate because I couldn't cure 3 cast because then I would be healing the D machine potentially, and I had no cure 2s, and then other than that, everything went swimmingly. The grind was perfect.
Oh yeah, other than everything from there on.
Yeah.
No, but see, and again, as we were talking about the Z fight that goes flawlessly, there are times when nerves and stuff like that just gets the better of everybody. There are times you just don't read the chart right, or you miscount, as we have often want to do. I've also been we've all been the suffrage of, hey, we should have just enough HP to survive this fire. Why is it firing twice? And then you are left with a Tella who has to virus and kill a D machine and pick up the pieces from there. Never been in that kind of situation whatsoever in a do or die race.
Not in a game 1 of a game best of 3. That's never happened to me either. So, but you both ran very excellent races, and I understand match 3 is tomorrow.
Yeah, same time, different place. I guess we're on Free Enterprise at 8 tomorrow for the rubber match.
I am honestly excited. I will be very hyped for that match for the two of you. You guys have put on one heck of a show. Game 1, unfortunately not restreamed, but to give a little bit of a spoiler to everybody, 1 minute time difference there for your win there, PK. And here we had a like basically the same, like not much of a difference either. Just you guys were running absolutely great seeds, and it's been a wonder to see the two of you guys run.
Yeah, this was 37 seconds, so we're at about 100 seconds separating the two of us in 2 seeds.
When is the tie? Is that tomorrow?
The tie.
Oh, no, please no.
There will be no ties. There are no ties in Bossing Say. Thank you, Dathis. Thank you, Karma, Heartgear for tracking, Neo for rolling. Whatever that is. Maybe we don't get a foo or a edge start tomorrow. And Castro, looking forward to a chance to run one more with you tomorrow. Take care, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, PK. Yeah, thanks everybody again as well for this, or for the Restream team. It's been a lot of fun. I look forward to racing PK again tomorrow. Hopefully, we can have another, finish within a minute of each other. That'd be great. It's always fun to run these, so I really appreciate everyone's hard work, and I guess I'll be seeing y'all tomorrow.
GG's once again, and congrats on the win, and congrats on forcing Game 3. We definitely will look forward to that match tomorrow.
And again, that was last one out, RNCastro. First one through the gate with a time of 1 hour, 20 minutes, 41 seconds. And then pk4787 followed right behind him. 1 hour, 21 minutes, 18 seconds. 40 seconds splitting the two of them. Again, like a minute and a half splitting the two different races. GG's to them. Thank you very much for putting on, for letting us put on the show and letting us show off to, again, here on Randomania. This has just been... it was a nail biter of a seed, and nobody was really ahead at any one point in time. And when we thought Castro was so far ahead, neck and neck essentially. It's things you love to see as a commentator.
Yeah, especially with the, that first Zeromus fight was just an unlucky Big Bang. You get that again in that second one, and now it's PKs to lose. And with how close that was, it just goes to show that both of these runners being very fantastic runners, two completely different strats, even though it was reflect strats, but two different ways of handling it. And so just all around well done job. It's really putting on a clinic and showing how to handle these seeds in different ways.
Absolutely. And speaking of, this seed is done. However, our free enterprise journey is not. We are going to have a little bit of a lull. We do have about 10-ish minutes before our next race goes live on free enterprise. So for those of you who are looking for more free enterprise actions, please you can stick around here. We are going to go raid free enterprise when we are done. We're going to have, instead of DJ Spoony B's rockin' tunes, we're going to have DJ Neobari playing some amazing remixes and some different songs of choice, and honestly, fantastic calls from them. But additionally, not only do we have that, but we also have some races upcoming tomorrow. Tomorrow at 7:30 on RPG Limit Break, one of our other partners. Again, thank you very much to Randomania for sponsoring, or for allowing us to show this. We have Baka Shinobi and Night Dew. They're going to have the comms of Alicel and Possum Morpheus, and Neobari again restreaming that. So we got that going on. And then following right after that, as we said, Castro and PK are going to have their final grudge match. Get that knocked out at 8 o'clock, same time, different day, free enterprise, again, back over there. And then finally, we're also going to have back here on Randomania Prime, Rybon versus Scratch Dragon at 9:30. You think that there's enough free enterprise going along. There is absolutely not. And again, Castro and PK, we're not going to be back with Bad Karma, but it's going to be Commander Leonhardt and Ground Flyer taking care of that. And then for Rybon and Scratch Dragon, you're going to have Neon Gray and Dijon Ketchup. Again, fantastic commentators. We have a whole heckin' bunch of good runs coming up, and we have some rude seed rollers coming up too. So expect for some good seeds, expect some bad seeds, and expect all the hot garbage.
All great matches tomorrow. All great crews working those matches. You're not going to get a bad one. If you can tune into all of them, please do so. Show some love to the community. Show some love to the runners and the Restream teams who are putting this on. But at the same time, just sit back and enjoy these, because this is some of the best free enterprise you're going to get, going forward as we progress through this. And, we start eliminating more and more people to get to that top champion of the highway to the Zemus Zone 4. So, round of 32, we've got matches going every day. So this is definitely one to definitely keep an eye on.
Absolutely. And again, before we get to let you whisk off to ignore our voices and hear nothing but music, I want to give one last final shout out. Give a follow to RNCastro. Give a follow to pk4787. And then we got our lovely Restream team behind us one last time. Neobari for putting on the absolutely fantastic show in restreaming. And then we have Hard Gamer, who is keeping her heart all aflutter with the multiple flurry of buttons that she had to push. And then the guy keeping me grounded with some great knowledge, Bad Karma. Give them all follows. They are fantastic parts of the community and absolutely great people to have on the Restream team.
Yeah, we cannot forget that my partner, the master of vanilla himself, Dathis, make sure you give him a follow as well. Always a good time when he gets on the stream. And I always look forward to working with you. Same with, Neobari and Hard Gamer. Work with both of you as well. Look forward to it again.
Absolutely. And everybody, have yourselves a wonderful evening.